right, we're here today at the studio of Abbi Kenny, and we're very excited. Tell us about your work.
So I've been making these paintings that I'm investigating a few different things, a lot of food, but also kind of material, thinking about the different ways I can create very specific textures with the different kinds of acrylic paint. So I'm really making super customized colors and textures and patterns to build up these images over different kinds of layers. And then kind of like at the end, they come together and start to make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And they're different kind of like collages of things that are personal, like kind of like recipes of my grandmother mixed with other kind of more found images from like cookbooks and recipe cards.
Cool. All right, let's walk us around.
Yeah. So
I love the floor. Look at the floor.
I know, it's such a mess,
That's
but
great.
it keeps it safe in here.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
But yeah, so I have a bunch of stuff kind of in progress right now, a lot of smaller works. This one is going to be a collage kind of painting of ginger ale, and then there's a bunch of Sailor Moon VHS tapes around the side. I have like the pictures all around, but they're not right now with their paintings.
Tell us about the taping off that you're doing here.
I'm covering it up just because like I don't want to make a mess everywhere,
Mhm.
and I do a lot of masking, so I'll paint little areas at a time, and then kind of bring everything together at the end. So some of them, it's like this has an entire other kind of like background, and I paint kind of like back to front, so I have that hidden off. So as I splatter or spray or pour things, I don't pour them all over the finished parts of the painting. So like this was taped off last night, and I just kind of finished that yesterday, the tablecloth, and then I'll kind of work on these individual pieces on top of that as I go, and I'll probably end up covering this again so I don't make it a mess.
So you do spraying and also brushwork?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do a lot of like, I'll kind of do everything. I'll do stenciling, spraying, stamping, sponging, just whatever I can kind of come up with.
Cool. I love all your little pots down here
Oh
too.
yeah,
These
all
are
my
awesome.
little cups. Thank you. Got to mix everything specifically and then save it for later.
So cool. Oh look, so many more over there.
I know, they're all
Hi,
piled up.
Kitty. Hello.
He's a very good studio assistant.
Wow. So what's gonna be happening? Oh, there's the cat in the painting here. What's developing in this painting?
So this was kind of a riff off another painting I did where I had a big long table that was kind of like a collage perspective where everything was kind of tilting at different angles. But I decided I wanted to revisit that and think a little bit more strategically about what was in the painting. So these are like a big binder of all my grandmother's recipes open, which I had been making as individual paintings. And then like a book she gave my mother that then my mother gave me. And then I made all the kind of like recipes that are out here, so that's what is in the background. And I just wanted to make a painting that was like kind of more flipping up the table instead of being horizontal. And kind of, I just love the tiles that we had in our old apartment.
Yeah.
It was so funny, and like, I just wanted to be able to paint those, yeah.
Yeah, I love how you're using the texture in there to bring out the wear patterns.
Yeah, I kind of made these little like, chips of paint sort of, and then I glued them in, and then I poured really flat
how
layers.
about that?
Yeah,
Look
it's
at that.
perfect.
Yeah, and then I sanded them so you could kind of see the texture in the layer.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is awesome.
A lot of my paintings is like 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. So it's like you put something down, then you cover it, then you reveal it, then you sand it, and it's kind of like building up the surface. But also that means it's like it's not super forgiving all the time. So it's, if something goes wrong, it's kind of like, okay, I gotta sand that back to the drawing board or like work with it. But yeah.
Tell us about which materials you're using.
So
see
I
these little
have,
cups.
you can see my little material. I have one cart here. So these are all my
These are all
dispersions.
dispersions. It's so great.
Yeah, and then I have a bunch of like textures.
Ooh,
below.
and glitter too.
I know,
You've got
I
the
love the
sunset
glitter.
crystallina. That's a good
It's
one.
so beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's kind of like the pigment area. You got your material, like textures. I've got beads. I've got a bunch of different kinds of beads. These are really fun mother of pearl flakes I found, where they're just kind of shimmery.
Neat.
This I have black pepper. I have rice. So I've got all these kinds
And
of
you put
stuff.
actual food in
I
your
did,
food-based
yeah, it's
paintings.
kind of fun.
Yeah.
So I've got that.
Let's go in on this one. Wow. Ah, look at
Yeah, so I finished this one recently, and I'm pretty excited. It was just kind of a like throw everything at it painting and see how
awesome.
it came out.
Damn,
Thank
look at
you.
this painting. I love it. Well, those are lobsters.
Yeah.
I love lobsters. We go to Maine every summer, and wow. Oh my God, I love this painting, Abby.
Thank you.
Holy
Yeah.
catsola.
I've been dragging that poor panel around from like states to countries. I dragged it to Canada and back, and finally made a painting on it.
Wow.
I've also been trying to
digging
use
this.
oil again. I don't love oil paint. It's just like not super conducive to this kind of work. With the layering and the drying, and it's just not. But I've been trying to kind of bring it in a little bit more. I'm also teaching and trying to teach oil paint. I'm like, I really should be using it. Just like,
Yeah.
Where are you teaching?
I've been teaching at Student Purchase.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Teaching painting?
Painting. Materials and techniques.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
you're
painting
perfect.
lines.
Yes. This is because, wow, I
It's
love
super
all your materials and all your techniques.
Thank
You
you.
have so many cool things.
Yeah.
I love these big, deep grooves you have going on here.
Yeah. That was like, I had a painting a while ago where the edges got really, really deep, and I had tape, and I was able to get this like beautiful, like thick, kind of like a cut of an edge. I was like, wow, what if that was just in the middle of the painting? That'd be like kind of fun. So I've been trying to play around with that more, like pushing the depth of the painting
Digging
into
it.
areas.
Which binders are you using?
They're behind you. I have the acrylic 60, silica flat, and then the flat white.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so this is my
So is
binders
it-
on the top, and then I have this is my sock for when my neck hurts.
Flat white.
So these are kind of like my binder section. I have
Wow.
a couple urethanes, and then I have all these kind of like golden
Some gacks and things.
stuff, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and then I have my oil paint hiding on the bottom where I don't have to deal
Alright.
with it.
Awesome. Oh, let me get over here and see this one. We got some plantains. Is that?
There's like it's this restaurant in Essex, Massachusetts called Woodman's, and they're like a super seafoody kind of like fried stuff restaurant. But I'm gluten free, and they happen to have like everything available gluten free.
Oh,
So it's
where
like-
is it?
In Essex, Mass.
Oh, I'm gluten free too, and
We're
I'm
not-
from Mass.
We're not going there.
If we happen to be on the highway nearby, I might look it up.
So not conveniently located.
Okay.
Obviously.
Oh my
but
God, it
yeah.
makes me want to eat it though. The way you paint is so awesome.
I just like love paint at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Who can't?
Right?
Who doesn't love
Who doesn't
paint?
love paint?
Oh my God.
Oh my God, I love this giant hand.
Yeah, my best friend found me this picture on Google Reviews, and she was like, "You need to paint this." And then we were like, "He kind of looks like my father. Like his hands are all kind of gnarled. Like my father's fingers are always just like a wreck from doing stuff with them. Like,
Yeah.
He's always wearing his blue jeans. We're like, somehow this reminds us of him in a strange way. And I was like, that would be such a fun painting to make.
Oh yeah, the perspective is great.
Yeah, it's great.
The sparkles too.
Yeah, the
It's
sparkles, a
yeah.
little bit of sparkles.
There's a little bit of like glass flakes in there.
Yeah, the materials are
Oh.
like totally right on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love your mark making too.
Yeah, I'm
That
trying to
hand is
balance
great.
it out. The mark making versus like things that aren't hand.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of like things that don't have my touch in it as obviously. But kind of bringing a balance in there.
That's
All right,
awesome.
let me get over here and see more. What's happening in this painting?
This is my mother.
Oh.
It's a picture I took years ago, but I was like, this would just be kind of a fun one-off. I don't usually make paintings of people, and I don't usually make kind of like more portraity or like it's just like kind of a little bit of a tilt for me. But I thought it would just be nice to make kind of a playing around. It's her and Riley, her dog. They're kind of like he just sits there at the dinner table like that. It's just his position. He sits like perched on her leg, and if she's not at the table, he has to perch on my leg, and he's just kind of funny.
Look at that toast. Is
Yeah.
that all textural? Oh.
Yeah,
Ah, fantastic.
but I just thought it would be a fun painting to kind of like take a shot at, you know.
Yeah. It's terrific.
I really love your use of trans oxides.
Thank you.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
Nice softness
Yeah,
to
right?
it.
Yeah.
they're so beautiful.
Yeah, they really are.
They're really gorgeous.
You must have a big assortment of them. You have like
I
all
do.
the Azo russet. It looks
Yeah.
like maybe, Ben Smith Azo brown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's so glowy in here. Is this like spraying back
Yes.
here? Yeah.
Yeah. So I usually use airbrush more like reserved for areas that need to be flat or really soft. Kind of like using it as if I was glazing with oil paint, but like making shadows and kind of thin, transparent layering. So I've been trying to play around with it. I also it's good for like stenciling, but yeah.
Wow. Well, I guess that's why everything is taped off with plastic then.
Exactly. I'm also painfully messy. Like you saw the floor.
The floor is amazing.
Yeah.
I love the floor.
I'm such a messy person.
Where's your spray gun?
Oh, yeah, I'll grab it.
Just want to see it. I'm not really familiar with spraying myself. Oh,
So I have this little air compressor. I really like this one. It's small. I used to have a giant one that was from like Sears, where they used to give them away basically when you made a big purchase. It was my father's. It was so loud.
Super loud. Right.
So loud. This one's so quiet. I can turn it on.
That's cute.
It's super, super quiet. You just turn it on without plugged in, but so it's like.
Oh, that is good.
And when it fills up, it doesn't auto shut off, so it's really, really easy to use. And I have my little airbrush.
Did you put our binders through there? Do you water them down a little bit?
I water them down pretty.
Like by how much?
I don't know. Usually, not quite by half, but I'll add airbrush medium as well to kind of like balance it out. It can be a little tricky to get the right consistency.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's too watery, too thick. I try to get them too thick and then continue to water them down.
Do you add any like propylene glycol or anything, the retarder?
Not so often. I don't.
That's not necessary.
No, it's not really necessary.
That's
also,
good.
I have all my little cups. I try to like not add it too much. I have it, but and then I have my little airbrush. It's not in the best shape these days. It gets quite a bit of use. It's also not been cleaned in a minute, but I had to tape it because it's one of the rings broke, the rubber rings. Which it's like not in good shape, but that's okay. It does the trick.
Does the job.
Yeah,
it's all right.
Hi,
So
Amy.
all these little cups, you how do you arrive at all these little cups?
So, I mean, like, I'd love to just, like, use a palette, but basically when I'm making a painting, it's, like, I'm making a color, and I'm making a texture, and it's for a very specific part of the painting, and I'll write what it is on it, and it's, like, kind of as if I was using a tube or something.
They all have little writing on them.
Yeah, so it's, like, light brown Riley white. So I'll do that, and sometimes if I know I'm going to sit down and make a painting and just, like, paint it in that moment, I'll mix it on the palette, but most of the time, I'm going back and forth so much that, like, I'll paint a whole area, then I'll need to return to it, and I'll need that color again later, and I want it exactly the same. Or in the case of something like behind you, it's super...
Oh, yeah, it's more paintings.
Super loose.
Ooh, what
wet.
is that a painting of?
It's going to be chowder.
Ooh. I love your food paintings.
It's like a collage. And I found this like crazy book. It's a legal seafoods cookbook. And then it had all these funny like things.
Oh,
and I
like a New Englander.
Yeah, I
I'm
found
a New
it from an
Englander.
article,
I
and I
gotta
was
get
like,
that book.
I thought it was so funny, like these directions of how to behave, like how to do something that's like really specific cultural, or like I don't know. I just thought it was really funny. But like paints like this are super, super liquid. So it's just like not practical on a palette to be like swapping it around.
Yeah. Oh, it's so creamy.
Yeah, that's kind of this is the first layer, and then I'm gonna add some of the beads that I got. I got these like little flakes of green
This is a little
beads.
luminescent. Did you mix in?
It's just really shiny.
It's just the light in here.
Yeah. I like have all these lights on all the time. But yeah, so I'll have that, and then I'll kind of do some more stuff on top of it and build it up. So like this is a lot of kind of like shows I did a bunch of kind of loose watery layers to get like a variation of color. And then I did, I like splattered the little orange pieces, and then I did a wash of color, and then I airbrushed it, but in there I sanded it too, so it's kind of like building it up and then taking it back down. And same with this, like I layered some colors, you can kind of see over here, that's the original color, and then I wood grained it, and then I did a wash and I sanded it to kind of get more.
So you do a lot of sanding.
I do a lot of sanding.
Do you do wet sanding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wet sanding is good.
And you sand with our binders? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
You gotta do benzimidaz or R5R wood grain.
Oh, that might be nice.
That might be
Wow.
insane.
Yeah, your wood grain is fantastic. Tell me
Thank
about
you.
the food. How long have you been doing food? You do it so well, and I just want to eat it all.
Thank you. I was living in Toronto for a minute. Luke, my fiance, he started going to school at OCAD for grad school. He's Canadian, so it was like, this will be like easier. It was like COVID, the world's a wreck. And then we got there and they said, worst case will be hybrid. totally remote, and the whole city was shut down, and the only thing I did was like go to the grocery store all the time. And we were living near the St. Lawrence Market, which is like a huge historic marketplace. It's beautiful. And so I was like really just like, I guess I'm gonna paint what's around me. Also, because I'm gluten-free, I cook a lot, so it's like kind of very much on topic of my mind.
Yeah.
And just thinking about like kind of the cultural things that are handed down through food. It's like a core behavioral thing that everybody does and needs, but it's also like how you can pass on traditions and histories and family. So kind of thinking about like things I can't do and can do, and how I'm just like a little bit more acutely aware of where I'm participating or not. So just think about food in that way too.
That's cool.
Oh, this painting's gonna be great.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Clearly.
love the use of trans oxide. It's really great.
Yeah.
Thank
It's great
Yeah,
to
that
watch.
wood
It's really
grain
great
is
to see.
amazing.
It really is.
Oh, and this is a nice
This is
studio
my
table
cart.
too.
Yeah, this is where all the kind of important things are. I've got my brushes.
The brushes are all so nicely lined up.
I know, I have to be organized
Wow.
because I'm so messy,
Yeah.
or I will be confused. But yeah, I've got my gloves down there, I got my respirator on the side.
Oh yeah, good. Safety.
Gotta be safe. I
Gotta
have
be
like
safe.
so many air purifiers down here. But yeah.
Good. Oh, and there's your template for that
Yeah.
pattern that's in the painting over
Yeah,
here.
that was quite a feat to figure out how to transfer and paint, just because there's so much of it.
Cool.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, I spent a while painting that.
You posted a beautiful painting on Instagram of blueberries. Do
Oh,
you have that here?
is it
I love
the?
that blueberry
Is it
painting.
like horizontal?
I think so.
I think somebody bought it.
Well, I bet they did.
Yeah.
It was gorgeous.
A friend bought it. Thank
Very
you.
nice.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah, a lot
look,
of stuff is also hiding boxes.
look at the pattern. Your patterns are so
I love
nice.
patterns.
Yeah.
They're fun because they're kind of hard to paint. You have to really figure out the logic of them. But they're also in a way like you just kind of get to paint them too sometimes. Like I said, you just do
Oh,
it.
I see. That's coming. This one is coming from
Yes.
this over here. Okay, so that's going to be a folder
Yeah, it's my
with recipes, maybe.
yes, it's
Yes.
my grandmother's folder, and I just thought it was so funny her labeling the coffee stains.
Ha!
So I was like, oh
Coffee.
yeah, okay. Like, and like, is there someone else who's gonna see this? Because like, it was just really silly.
That's fantastic. Oh my gosh.
I see how you're building up the pages in it
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, so I
it's
built up
great
all the
to
little
see it in
pages.
progress there.
Wow.
There's like 20 layers of pages in there.
Mm.
And then I'm gonna kind of do the folder and then go back in and kind of add a little bit of shadow to all the edges and like differentiate them.
Is this all paint or is there a buildup of actual paper
It's
in
all
here?
paint.
Wow.
Yeah, I kind of like it when things are deceiving.
Yes.
It could be one thing, it could be another, but it's actually just paint.
Right.
So I always think that's fun.
Well, therein lies the skill, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Ooh,
But
look
I
at
think
this.
like also that dimensionality is such an important part of what paint does.
Mhm.
You know, like you can
Yeah.
exaggerate the shadows with how you're spraying into it and everything, but just the fact that there's that part of it reacting to the light and
Mhm.
different spaces you move it into is
Yeah.
it's worth preserving
Yeah,
and
I totally.
cultivating.
Mm.
I had a painting where it was really thick and but like there were shadows under it, but there were actual shadows, and like
Yeah.
that's just like my favorite thing where it's
Yeah.
kind of reacting.
Yeah, you get that reflected light with
Mhm.
the color. It's you can't get it any other way. It's great.
So cool. So much subtlety. Attention to detail.
It's important.
What's that? Did we already talk about this one? I
No,
feel
so
like we
this
didn't.
is kind of a partner to the one that's around the corner of the
Mhm.
weekend. Sorry, there's this like giant gamer chair. It's a partner to that one, so it's another giant hand painting. There's
Mhm.
going to be like a lobster roll here. This is the big hand.
Oh, I saw the picture. Is this the picture
Yes,
right here?
that's the
Oh,
picture.
cool.
But I really wanted to play around with the layering of it, so it's on a tabletop. You can kind of see the wood grain under here.
Oh, yeah.
So that's like a tabletop situation,
Mhm.
and then you have the blue tray, and so then the image itself is nestled in that blue tray that's like this one in the painting.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of just playing around with like the layers of space and what's sitting on top of each other with collaging. And I think the lobster painting over there is kind of similar, like it's nestled two images or like nestled into each other.
Yeah.
So I was playing around with that.
Wow. Yeah, I love your crazy perspective.
I'm psyched to see how you handle the red mesh.
Oh
That's
yeah,
gonna
I'm
be so much
terrified of
fun.
the red mesh.
It almost feels like it could cut in, like in your
Yeah.
roster thing, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it seems like such a great opportunity.
Yeah, I've been trying to work on panel more because I think it just offers so much more to like the front and the back. Like you can carve into it, you can kind of build on top of it more. It's a lot more stable. They're totally inconvenient, obviously, because they're super heavy. The lobster painting weighs so much. It's not
Does
even
it?
funny. It weighs
Yeah.
so much.
Is that just because of the panel?
It's the panel is heavy, but I mean, there's just so much paint on there that like,
Yeah.
building up on the panel becomes really heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I also love to like stretch canvas over it and then gesso it so that it's even heavier. Just like making it so inconvenient for myself, but that's what I love to do. Make it more difficult, more
More of a
complicated, and
challenge.
inconvenient.
I love the notes you leave yourself on your painting.
Yeah, I write a lot of notes in the studio, and like
Catch up.
Yes, I haven't done it yet. It needs to happen stuff. But
Touch
it's
up
like,
details on chowder! Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation.
it's really easy to get confused in the layering. Also, just like mixing so many different paints and like figuring out what has to sit before what, and if they're going to be really thick and like thinking about things like where there's that depth. It takes a lot of kind of planning to figure out at least the order of things.
Yeah.
And then how am I going to paint it? Sometimes I have like an idea from the beginning, like I need to make this painting because I need to paint this thing like in this crazy way. And then other times I'm like, I have no idea. I'm just like going to figure it out when I get there. But I need to know that order of operations in order to find the beginning. But yeah, then there's a lot of notes in the middle.
So fascinating.
You have a lot of notes in the initial sketches you do
Yes.
for stuff too.
Yeah.
Like, all that marginalia that's like related to the
good
the
sketchbooks.
recipe books that you're working from.
Yeah, so like this is
cool.
like
Oh,
kind of how I plan things out.
Oh.
Do you preserve all of your masks too? Do you
I
keep
don't.
it
I
all as,
usually
like,
reuse them.
Yeah.
I save the notes when they end up on the wall and stuff. Like, see, these are still all just notes for that painting.
Wow.
And then this is like chunks I found from the other painting. I thought they were fun to keep.
Yeah.
And then this is like me figuring out the jacket in that painting.
Awesome.
So like I have other notes. Like this is the main notes, and then I'll come back and try to figure out more.
Oh, I'm so glad we ended up looking at this. This is so
Those are
cool.
just some drawings.
I don't want to flip through
That's
this
fine.
sketchbook
Yeah,
for you.
that's totally fine. Like this is the notes for that painting. So
Oh,
they get
cool.
revised a lot too as I go. Yeah, and then sometimes if I like finish a notebook, I'll print these out and then I'll write over them again and again. And I like to save those too. Those are always fun. But yeah, so like this is the notes for that painting.
Oh,
I printed
cool.
out the picture and then I tried to figure out all the layers of it and
Wow.
testing the
Oh
colors.
my gosh.
And then this is just a little strip I was using to like find the right shapes of stuff.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I just love hearing about all your orchestration that goes behind all these paintings.
Yeah, there's a lot of just stuff around it, and then the painting of it is like that's the final kind of step to making it. 'Cause, like also I'm taking a lot of my own pictures and like collaging them, so like that's all a bunch of it too.
Wow. Phenomenal. What's going to be happening with this one? Oh, I
It's
see.
in the
I
corner,
see.
yeah. These
It's
are
gonna be
kind of
this.
like a pair in my mind for each other.
Lord.
Good Lord.
I know. These are like most of them are just like totally in terrible shape.
It's so organized.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So you said this one is a pair with this
This
one?
one, yeah.
Okay.
I'm easily confused, so I have to keep myself organized.
Yeah.
I'm always losing things in here, and it's obviously next to me whenever I lose it.
Well,
Awesome.
this has been an incredible studio
Yeah,
visit.
thank you for coming.
Thank
Thanks
you
for your
so
time.
Lovely
much.
to have
Abby.
Thanks for
you.
your time.
Yeah,
really.
thank you.
I'm just like
I love what you're doing with this
overjoyed.
stuff.
Thank you.
It's cool.
Yeah, this all your work is just so, you know, it reads so wonderfully just on camera, but like seeing it in person and
Yeah.
hearing about what goes into the thinking and the it's just like really fascinating
Thank you.
work.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.